Hello, beautiful people of the internet. My name is Ryan, and welcome to a video where we're going to be reacting to the 3 Blood and Wine DLC endings from The Witcher 3. If you don't know, my name is Ryan. I have a master's degree in creative writing. I work as a writer in my real job, and I love checking out the writing in video games, especially a game like The Witcher, which I love deeply, and I've just been so impressed by. So, um, this gives me a good chance reacting to these different endings to one, satisfy my curiosity about what happens in the different endings of this game, and two, maybe, hopefully, give you a little bit of information about what I can see from the writing in the video game that might lead you to a greater understanding of the characters or a greater understanding of how a scene works, why the dialogue is written this way. So we're gonna do that. There's 3 endings. I have already played one of them, but I don't know the other 2 endings. So I've got a video pulled up with all 3 endings, and we're just going to play it. And I might fast forward through parts of it depending on how it goes. But let's get straight into it. This is the good ending, apparently. This, you'll notice we skipped a bunch. There's obviously this DLC is enormous. And there's a good, this is going to happen right after you talk to Sienna after the Land of a Thousand Fables. There's a lot of requirements to get these different endings. So we're going to start here where Geralt goes to talk to Damien after learning that Anna Henrietta was supposed to be the 5th victim.
Damien.
Geralt, it's about time. Ready for the ceremony?
Got some important information. Anna Henrietta was supposed to be Detlaf and Sienna's 5th victim.
You are certain of this?
Completely. Found proof.
Inconceivable. How could she? The murders, the mayhem she brought down on the city, were they not enough? She sought to strike down her own sister, her liege. Traitor.
This video
I must
goes
alert
in
my
order.
men. Enlarge
Good,
the Duchess's honor guard. Make
very
certain
bad,
Sylvia Anna is closely watched during...
and then bad. And I don't know which one I got, but I think it's going to be either very bad or bad. It might be potentially bad. We'll find out as we go. This is actually, I truly know very little about these other... We certainly didn't get the good ending. I truly know very little about these different endings.
the questioning. I'll see to it personally. I thank you, Witcher, for alerting me, and I appreciate your attentiveness. Let's begin the ceremony. Come with me. The Duchess awaits.
So the thing I think is very interesting about this DLC and the way it wraps up is there are many choices on who to give what information.
In the guild's name, I beg
Regis,
your
Damien,
assistance,
Anna Henrietta.
your enlightened highness. Without barrels, production will come to a stop.
There's just lots
and
of
it will be the end
opportunities
of
to
us.
include or not include other
Lost
people.
them all in the fire. These are
And the reason that I
horrible
think that's
tidings.
interesting,
Oh, we are
is
most dreadfully saddened.
including a
Yes,
person
your
in,
enlightened highness all. Once
like giving a person information is a form of like prioritizing them or choosing them or whatever. By giving Anna Henrietta certain information, I think we choose her over Sienna. By giving Damien certain information, but not giving Anna Henrietta that information, we choose something else over Anna Henrietta. So
the beasts had clawed their way into the warehouse, the whole place went up in flames.
I shall dispatch a palace guardsman to examine the site of the blaze. If things are, as you say, fitting compensation shall be paid from the ducal treasury.
Thank you, your enlightened highness.
So the thing that's happening in this scene, in my mind,
Your
is
Grace.
this. We walk into delivering Anna Henrietta a very important piece of information. However, when we do, she is busy. She is busy being the leader of Toussaint. And what's going to complicate matters in this ending, and all of these endings, is the fact that Anna Henrietta is not just a character whom we have grown to like/understand, some version of, some form of either of those. She is also the leader of Toussaint, and the future of the duchy depends on what we choose. So it raises the stakes by having this conversation that just happened. We're aware that the person we're about to tell is the beloved leader of this place. And it also complicates Henrietta's choices because she has to think about
Geralt
both
of Rivia
herself
has arrived.
and the people
My
who she
dear
serves.
subjects, we come now to our next point of business. Of all the duties which fall upon my shoulders, as the ruler of this dominion, this duty is dearest to my heart.
So here she's a very
For
gracious
now,
host.
we shall award the Order of Vitis Vinifera, Tucson's highest honor.
Geralt
she
of Rivia, slayer of the
awards
beast of
Geralt
Beauclair,
an award.
step forth.
It also, interestingly, parallels a moment that comes in one of the
Bestow
endings.
the distinction upon the Witcher, who saved
Henrietta by
Beauclair
herself,
from the terrible beast.
and another character closing the distance
Such
to her.
is our desire.
Because this is royalty, because it's pomp and circumstance, we as viewers need to know what is the accepted, state of affairs here. Can I get close? Can Geralt get close to Henrietta? Will he be stopped 5 feet away? Do they close the distance? How comfortable are they around each other? Like, do they touch? Do they not? That's gonna matter here in a second. So we have this scene to sort of preview
May
it for
this
us.
symbol serve as a reminder to all
We get
that
pretty
the
close.
Witcher shall forever remain a friend of Beauclair. In
And it's
more
also nice because
familiar
we've done a lot of
terms
work
now,
for her.
I thank you immensely, Geralt. Damien has your reward for you. After all, it was but a contract.
Thank you.
I have a small surprise for you, in addition. I give you more than a dozen barrels of Son Real, a wine normally reserved for the ducal table. The gustatory experience of a lifetime awaits.
The other dangerous
Are you
thing that's
content?
happening here is we're being rewarded. And we get that, like, we're done. Deep breath out kind of feeling. The problem is we still have big news to reveal. And we're not done.
And truly grateful, Your Grace. Sadly, I'm afraid I have to sour the mood. It's Sienna. She plotted to have you killed, Duchess. Planned to use Detlaf. You were to be the beast's 5th victim.
So far, this is exactly what I did in my playthrough.
This cannot be true. You're mistaken. You must be.
Although I might
I
have
have
missed
proof.
some steps along the way. I'm not sure. My understanding of these DLC endings is that there's multiple steps you have to nail. The interesting thing here is we say this to Henrietta, and she has to turn around to compose herself.
I do not believe it.
I've heard Henrietta called foolish for her belief that Sienna, her refusal to believe that Sienna would wish harm upon her and would be this way.
In a moment, I shall speak to Sienna. Will you assist me?
And I think that's sort
You
of the
returned
central
my
question
sister to me, yet what you tell me now, I find devastating.
of this DLC.
I've
at the
come
end.
to doubt that I can judge her fairly. I'd far prefer.
And it's even on Henrietta's mind. I've come to doubt that I can judge her fairly. That's what we doubt too. Is Henrietta being a gracious human, the type of which should be royalty? So gracious as to, so wise as to see Sienna's truer, higher form? Or is she being blind and foolish to the betrayal by a family member?
To learn you're mistaken, Geralt.
I'm not. In fact, I'd recommend you be particularly careful around her.
You exaggerate, Witcher. She is my sister. I know well how to speak to her.
If my presence will help in any manner, of course I'll stay.
We shall now question a person implicated in the murders which recently ravaged our fair city of Beauclair. Captain de la Tour, show Sylvia Anna in.
All right. Let's see how somebody makes this situation actually go correctly, because it didn't go so well in my attempts. Although I loved it, and I'll talk about why later, but
The Witcher will take part in our talk.
Duchess requested I be present.
I think I chose the other
You have
option.
committed crimes. Grave crimes. Yet you are my sister, and my heart does not allow me to treat you as a common criminal. Nor does it let me believe you sought my demise. My heart
Notice Honoretta says, "My heart does not let me believe that you sought my demise. My heart yearns to know you were swayed by the monster Detlaf." The writers are being very careful to show here that it is not logic that brings Anna Henrietta to believe that Sienna is innocent / would not do this to her, would not attempt to name her as the 5th victim. But it is her heart that says,
yearns to know you
I am
were
not allowed to
swayed by the
believe.
monster Detlaf. You yourself would never stoop so low. Thus I have asked Geralt to advise me. As one impartial, I shall now hear what he has to say.
I think this is where, so far that's all the same as what I chose. I chose the top option
Your
here.
Grace.
The other one.
Sienna's guilt is clear. None have cause to doubt it. But before you decide, you should hear her out. The right to a defense is hers, as it applies to all who stand accused.
What is he talking about, Sienna?
You know exactly what.
Sienna takes a step forward. This is I'm gonna watch this very carefully. Sienna takes a step forward. That and the hand behind the back give us watchers the feeling of hidden danger, the feeling of a snake about to lunge for you.
Exiled, remember? To your benefit. You knew well the throne would then be yours, though I was the elder. The ministers I can understand.
The hand comes out,
Hated me since I was a child.
and then it goes back behind. And so now we start to wonder: is this just a gentility thing, like a form of respect showed to royalty? One hand behind the back. It makes Sienna look very official.
Poor prospect for the wife of a duke. I even understand our parents.
Another step closer.
I sensed the problem. They simply feared me, for I dared to be free. That fabricated curse, it fell into their laps. A gift from above that brought relief. But you,
I love Sienna's accent.
your dagger hurt most. You were my Honoretta, damn it. My darling little sister. Now do you understand, Witcher? She betrayed me.
The thing that I feel right now is mostly not that you're
Claim
wrong,
to understand them all?
just that
Why'd
you're
you
a
come
little
back for revenge? Have them all
skewed.
cut down then.
They deserved my vengeance. They detested me, all of them, as long as I can remember. But Honoretta understood me. Once. She was all I could cling to. Her betrayal hurt the most.
You were children then. You and your sister both had no control over what happened.
You're wrong, Witcher. She had control. Remember, dear sister, the day they banished me from the palace? Of course, I'd had the idea to pelt the Nilfgaardian envoy with fish platters, which we filled with rancid suet on a lark, and which you set afire at the last to impress me, I imagine. And I admit, you did. Hit him right in his hideous bald patch. Never laughed so hard in my life. But when it came time to find the culprit, you said
Ouch.
not a word. I took all the blame and all the punishment.
It's true. I did not stand up for you. I was too afraid.
The council was unanimous. They listed all my offenses.
Oh, look at this. They switch where the camera goes to Damien and to the lookers on, the people here. Honoretta has admitted I was wrong, and it has admitted a thing of shame. And in our eyes, at least, it appears to be a very heartfelt. You're right. And it's hard to watch somebody do something shameful, which is why these women look down.
My flights from the palace.
At least
Supposed
that's my reading
acts
of
of cruelty. Inappropriate friendships. They cast me out. But you, the only one to understand me, you cowered in a corner, lifted not a finger to help. Not before, not after. You never tried to find me.
That's not true. I searched for you, sent out knights, gathered tidings from without. You did not wish to be found.
These close-ups.
Since the day you vanished, I have lived with the knowledge that I failed you. I'm sorry, dear sister.
Then Honorrietta closes the
Can you
distance.
forgive me?
And Sienna says no. 3 times she says no. You tried to tickle her? Gives her a hug. A smile on Sienna's face. That's the important part of that. Interesting. Okay. I like that. And then we do the pan. Very interesting. So the final parts of that are Honorrietta asking forgiveness, right? She says, I lived with the
From without, failed
Uh,
you.
knowledge that I have failed you.
Can you
Can you
forgive
forgive me? And then hugs. I mean, if that isn't evidence that Honorrietta is an incredible, like the type of royalty. Honorrietta is a leader. It's plain and simple. Honorrietta is a heck of a leader. The type of person that has done well as the Duchess of Toussaint, but also who potentially deserves to be the Duchess of Toussaint. Is there, of course, a thread or two woven through Honorrietta's dialogue there of the sort of selfish emotional idealism that I think is a very legitimate claim against Honorrietta? Yes, I've lived my whole life with the knowledge that I failed you. Really, and has that been so hard for you as the Duchess of Toussaint? Whereas Sienna has lived a very hard life. But she also, to her credit, especially knowing the other endings, turns what could have been a very different scene with her emotional vulnerability. Is it also performative emotional vulnerability? Yes, of course, because she is the Duchess of Toussaint, and every part of her emotional life is performative because she exists in a public space as royalty. It's good and complicated, and I think that's the key. Good stuff. All right, we'll see. I think after this must be Regis. It is. Interesting. So it appears that all of these endings, or at least most of these endings, are going to have this scene with Sienna, and then
All in all,
this sort of
best part of the whole
epilogue
ceremony.
type
It
thing.
was short.
Perhaps for you, as you ducked out early. The others are probably just getting started. The drunkenness never ends in this quaint realm.
Not so fond of Toussaint after all, are we?
Oh, this place is like a strong wine, Geralt. Good in small sips. How do you find my personal brew? Not too strong.
Just right.
Credit the local mandrake of the Alrauna diavolis variety for that. The tubers which grow in this area's volcanic soil.
So I'm
have an
thinking this
altogether
might be
unique-
the same as, now that we're on to we've heard about how the ceremony went. Now that we're on to this part where we will gather mandrakes, and I think this might be the same as the other thing. So what should happen here, and I might skip it for that reason. What should happen here is Regis, having saved Geralt and killed Detlaf, has drawn the ire of the unseen elder and has to flee. We gather mandrakes with him very quickly. I'm just going to click through real quick just to make sure that is what happens. It's a lovely scene. You know what? We'll watch it right now, and then if it happens again, we won't watch it again. How about that? We'll watch it for sure the first time. Sorry, I shouldn't have interrupted the first time, but we'll watch it again the first time, and then we'll skip it the second time.
For
if
you,
it
as you
appears.
ducked out in this quaint realm.
Strong wine, mandrakes.
Tubers which grow in this area's volcanic soil have an altogether unique flavour profile and display a remarkably uncommon dark brown tint.
Fascinating. All I can say is this batch turned out excellent.
Geralt and Regis
Indeed. It might be
are like those friends who don't really share interests, but they definitely share a deep emotional bond. They're loyal as all hell, but like one of them brews beer, and the other one like, I don't know, hunts monsters. I don't know.
wise to stockpile some roots for the future. Would you care to accompany me?
If you think it's a good idea, let's go. But I think you might be forgetting one thing. Fresh mandrake root of this variety is highly toxic, even to a witcher.
Ah, not a problem. I never forget matters of safety and hygiene in alchemy. Here, gloves
I love
and a
Regis.
mask.
I said this during
Don
our
them, and you shall be in no danger.
blind
Thanks.
playthrough. Plenty.
Right then, let's go.
But Regis is one of my favorite characters in this.
This moonlight
DLC.
makes me oh so dreamy.
He's very poetic, which I love. Very poetic. So we put on the mask and gloves.
Let me guess. Succubus tits?
No, I was thinking about how anything can look interesting when properly lit.
Even an old necrophage corpse?
You've not an ounce of refinement in you, have you?
The other thing about Regis that I really like is, God, the version. Sorry, I'm just sitting here looking at this very blurry, very dark playthrough. The video that I found for all of these endings is only 720p at the max. So yikes. Regis is tragic in a very heartwarming way as a character. He wants something. Circumstances conspire to make that very difficult for him. He wants to live in peace. He wants to live the life of a vampire without drinking human blood.
Now, where'd that bloodsucker go? Won't be
However,
easy to track down.
He's a vampire.
He's
He's
a
still
Vampire, after
John.
all.
His life is made very difficult.
Regis!
Just a lot to admire about Regis, I think. Especially
Damn
his
it, where'd you go?
journal. Alright, we get a fight. I'm gonna skip through.
Those Bruxay, they called you a traitor.
Alas, we've a very simple code of honor, we vampires. So simple you might call it trivial. Either one is with us, unconditionally, regardless of the circumstances, or
Won't let it go, will they?
they will not. Fortunately, we've another rule, an unwritten one, and just as trivial as the first. It is neatly summarized in the saying, out of sight, out of mind.
The thing that I find really interesting about this, I don't think it's an uncommon trope with vampires, sort of having an ancient code. The interesting thing to me is this DLC in particular has a sort of, one of the themes of it is the like beastliness of certain cultural and like almost certain like cultural or societal systems. Toussaint, a culture built on the chivalric virtues, has some terrible things happening, like Sienna being taken away and all of the different, it's a major theme. Vampire culture has a like very they're very refined, higher vampires, and yet the rules of their culture are so simplistic as to be like beastly or animal.
That is why I must leave Toussaint. For a vastly long time, most like.
Yeah, I get it.
Let us make for my count.
It's just like without nuance
I have
or
an
complexity.
overwhelming desire to have another drink. supreme bouquet. Firm, defined beginning, then develops gently, rising
The
to
sommelier
a
friend.
startling
Geralt's
finish.
the friend who's into
Don't you
disc
think?
golf. That's what it is.
Not much
Regis
of a
is a-
connoisseur.
Then it is high time you started your
Is brewing beer in his garage, and Geralt is spending his weekends playing frisbee golf. Sorry, disc golf.
education. After all, the Corvo Bianco vineyard is now yours. By the way, I left a gift for you at your new home, on the nightstand.
Thanks. Mind telling me what it is?
A trifle. That will nonetheless be useful should you need mutagens. Incidentally, have you thought about what you'll do with your prize?
But this is the
Shall you hang
retirement
your
talk.
swords over the
I like
mantle
this
and
talk a
take
lot.
to pruning vines?
Especially because mostly you've arrived at this moment having played, most players I would guess, having played the entire main game, Hearts of Stone, and then this enormous game-sized DLC. And if you've made it this far, maybe you've still got quests you want to do. But you've chucked 150 minimum hours into this game. Like, you may not want to retire, but the thought of retiring someday, it sounds pretty good.
No, just not the life for me. Sure, might stop by there occasionally, stay the winter, fill up on wine.
What a difference this is
But I'd rather
to
keep moving. It's not a choice being a witcher.
from the end of the
And
main
once
game.
you are one, you're one for life.
Ever
Can't just step
coinless
off the path.
Geralt.
Besides, plenty of work left for me in the world. Ghouls aren't gonna kill themselves.
Rather droll, isn't it, that each time we meet, something harrowing must happen?
Rather droll. Of course,
I
Regis is
can
the guy to
remember
use a
a
word like
night
droll.
Not too far from here, if I'm not mistaken. We hid in a cave while a blizzard raged all about. Does that sound at all familiar?
How could it not? We just set off to rescue Ciri from Vilgefortz.
Oh, our encounter with Vilgefortz. That is something I do not remember so fondly. But that first stay in Beauclair, far calmer than this one.
Seemed like a land straight out of a fairy tale back then. Its
Hey, that's
sole
a word
problem,
with
cellars
lots-
too small to accommodate all that wine.
Connotations to it.
Appearances, Geralt. Appearances, like Mamoons and Dopplers, deceive. So what did become of Vilgefortz?
Killed him. Sure wasn't easy, though. What about you? Any idea where you'll go?
Distance is of the essence. I thought I might venture south.
Nilfgaard?
Why ever not? The Nilfgaardians are a modern society. None there believe in vampires anymore. This fact alone could be very useful to one wishing to remain incognito.
Interesting point of view. I so don't feel like going anywhere. Sit here a while longer?
If that doesn't make you feel
So
good,
we
what
shall, my
does?
friend. We have witnessed, and in fact on several occasions incited, many great and weighty events. After all that toil, I believe we deserve a bit of a rest.
That we do.
I've been thinking of an ending to my book, Gandalf. What if it ended with, and he lived happily ever after? Beautiful. And on to ending. That's the good ending. And on to ending 2. I'm guessing, is this very bad ending? I'm guessing mine was just bad. But maybe mine was very bad. I don't know. Maybe I got the very bad ending. Oh, no.
Damien.
I'll skip
Geralt,
if
It's about time. Ready for the ceremony?
things are the same. I'll skip through them so that we
All right, we can start.
don't have to watch the same dialogue twice, obviously. We can start. He doesn't tell Damien.
Very well. But you must behave. Less like a hired thug, and more like a man deserving of the duchy's highest honor.
Interesting. Geralt sits on this information.
In fact, you'd do best to maintain a dignified silence throughout.
And Damien, not knowing
Let's
what
begin
Geralt
the
knows,
ceremony. Come with
tells
me.
him to be
The
silent
Duchess awaits.
and try to be dignified and not a thug. Jesus Christ. I like Damien, but it's not a good look, Damien.
In the guild's name,
All
I
right,
beg
so this is
your
the same.
will.
All in the red.
The sweat
Examine
Through
the
here real quick.
has arrived.
point of business. Of all the
We get an
duty
award.
the
This happens once more.
our reminder of
And then
Beauclerc.
he does not
In
say
more
anything.
Familiar terms now. Price for you in a normal time.
All right, we have money.
Yes, very. Heard a lot of good things about that appellation. Thanks again.
Cheers.
So in that moment, sorry, what were our
Yes.
options?
Content?
Are you content? You can choose not to tell Sian or Damien, but then you can tell Henrietta. You can say truly honored, and you can say can't wait. Okay.
In a moment I shall speak to Siana. Will you assist me? You returned my sister to me, yet you also showed me her horrendous deeds.
Oh, you have no idea about her
As
horrendous
head of
deeds.
state, I must judge her fairly. But she is my sister. Thus my heart bleeds for her.
Okay.
If my presence will help in any manner, of course I'll stay.
We shall now question a person implicated in the murders which recently ravaged our fair city
So
of
I've made some
Beauclerc.
different decisions. This might
Captain
still be the same
Delatore?
ending.
Show Sylvia Anna in.
Let's see here. By the way, this cut statues of an angel before they show Siana walking in. Statues of an angel. Pieces of art made of to celebrate virtuousness, sort of.
The Witcher will take part in our
Okay,
talk.
so this should all be the
Free to
same.
do as I-
Free to do it as I chose, which is what I
Bribes.
said.
Treat you as one in
Okay, these are the dialogue options I had.
No matter the mitigating circumstances, whatever they may be, Siana is a criminal and should be tried as such. And punished as such. Her guilt is clear.
Your words sadden me greatly, Witcher. But I cannot deny their logic. Siana, you shall be tried and given a fitting punishment. Yet we shall never
Definitely the snake poised to bite.
cease to be family. As Duchess, I shall have to judge you. But as your sister, I shall never stop loving you.
And this is where the performative emotional vulnerability becomes a little much, right? As Duchess, I have to judge you, but as your sister, I shall never stop loving you. That sounds so cynical, or at least we see it cynically. I do, at least. And I think that's legitimate. Then the extended hug becomes more of that performative thing. And I have a feeling that this is the same ending that I got. Yikes.
Will you forgive me?
This is a beautiful ending, despite it being very bad. We doubt her. The writers acknowledge that doubt by having the guards step in, and we breathe a sigh of relief. Oh, thank God. The guards are there. Then they go for a hug. We celebrate.
I shall never forgive you.
And they both die. And Geralt stands by helpless. I still feel it's interesting. You can get the same ending if you chose to tell both Damien and Henrietta, which is what I did. I was so shocked when this happened the first time. It's heartbreaking. It truly is. And now knowing what I know about the first ending and how Henrietta shows, I would say, greater and more honest vulnerability in the first ending, based on my dialogue choices that I fucked up. That second ending is just so tragic, and this is the best part of it. How Toussaint, bright, saturated, oversaturated Toussaint, becomes so grim.
Need some flowers. A wreath, or...
I've none. Sold everything. I was just on my way out. No sense hanging about.
This scene is
with
this part's really
nothing to
moving.
do. Should come as no shock, sir. At the funeral, folk took it all. Men, women, children, all wished to lay a bouquet on the Duchess's grave. Windflowers, peonies, gladioli. But she liked common roses best. I know, her ladies-in-waiting would come here at times. I'd choose the loveliest blooms for her. Fragrant, big petals, the kind that last a long time. I've still not come to terms with it. To be killed by her own sister. How could it happen?
AKA, how could you let it happen? This woman doesn't know, but we know. We know.
Anna Henrietta wanted to believe there was still hope for Sienna, that she'd show remorse. She reached a hand out to her. Too soon. Too trusting.
Too soon, too trusting, and also probably too public and performative. She didn't actually own up to, in this version, she didn't actually hear Sienna, and she also didn't own up to what she had done as part of her childhood.
I know you. You're that witcher from the north. The one that saved us from the beast.
Mm-hmm. Could say that.
I love this.
Wait here.
The idea
Take
of
these.
Thought you were
florist
out of flowers.
I put a bouquet aside.
who holds flowers back for
I was to
herself.
take it to her myself. But you have it. I know you held the Duchess dear.
For the
How
chance
much
to
do I
give
owe
them
you?
to the Duchess.
Not a copper. Keep your coin and raise a toast in her memory
And then
tonight.
still gives them away.
Do just that.
Toussaint is going to be just
Farewell.
fine. The beast is gone. Their lovely Henrietta is no longer there. Statue in the background. But the love and the devotion that Henrietta inspired in the people, I think it's still alive and well. This is such a grim little moment in the game. It's one of my favorites. And I think it's lovely despite the darkness of it.
The way to sit through the streets while everyone sleeps.
Geralt has 5 waters in one pocket and 21 raw meat in the other. Incredible.
They say a great deal about you, Witcher, and whisper
He's going to talk to all the people.
Yes?
Which, what happens if you light all these? I wanted to try and light them once, but I didn't know what happened. If something happens when you light all these fires, I'm going to be really upset with myself. People are screaming.
Wine by the barrel.
I didn't take the time to light these fires. Jesus Christ.
So young. So beautiful.
No? Okay, I thought maybe something was happening there. This person's just playing around just like I was. Let's go ahead and speed up. We go to Henrietta's grave. Place a flower there. Right beside Sienna's
Witcher.
grave.
I was certain you'd departed.
Couldn't. Anna Henrietta was...
Wondrous. Beautiful. Good. The best ruler one could hope to have. Yet I let her down.
Don't be so hard on yourself. No one expected Sienna to do that, persist to the end. And none of us did anything to stop her. 'Cause there was nothing we could do.
I suppose you are right. But when some...
It's great. How do I say this? What I think about this scene
someone
is
so beloved...
potentially a rude thing to think. But I think, how do I say this? I think what happens in this scene right here is the Witcher 3 writers sort of poking at us and the way that we us humans and the way that we grieve. After someone's story is over, we so often do this. At least in my experience, we do. We gild their lives, or we retroactively often we edit the story of who they were, etc. We also edit the story of who they were in our lives. Here, Damien says she was wondrous, she was great, which she might have been. Geralt says no one expected Sienna to do that. None of us did anything to stop her because there was nothing we could do. And while that might be true, we also don't know that. And also in this video game, there's definitely different endings. We just watched one of them. And so I think it's not poking fun at us humans right here, but I think what the Witcher 3 writers are doing is sort of poking the bear and reminding us as players that we do this in the real world and in fiction too. We editorialize the lives of the dead. We editorialize their roles in our lives.
The end. And none of us did anything to stop her.
And it probably comes from a good place.
Nothing we could do.
But
I suppose you are right. But when someone so beloved dies, one cannot help but search one's soul for blame.
Yes, Damien.
And even the hardiest knights grow faint-hearted then.
Come to pay my respects. Bid the Duchess farewell.
White roses. They were her favorite. Go inside then. She lies in the ducal crypt.
It shows that Damien really knows her.
In one room with her murderer, despite my protests.
What? Who decided that?
The Regent's Council. A pack of old men who've statutes and codices for hearts. Ducal blood flowed in Sienna's veins, and she was never legally disinherited. So they ruled she should lie alongside Anarietta.
You get the choice to place flowers on both graves or on Arietta's grave. I chose just one. This player will choose both. Oh, this is lovely. Oh. The thing I admire.
What did it bring you?
The thing I admire in a fucked up way about Sienna is the sort of just like absolute surety or absolute confidence in who she was. Is that a good thing? Should any of us have that? Probably not.
This way, that I failed to prevent it.
But she was a force.
Hope you can forgive me.
She was a force of nature.
Rest in peace.
And she was deluded, and she was, but she was also sort of made to be that way.
Quite subdued. Yes, this is the kind of eternal resting place I dream of.
Moments like this, I never know if you're joking or serious.
Serious, Geralt, serious. It's remarkably peaceful, subtly charming to the hilt. A perfect match for the Duchess's dignity. Ah, you humans, you'll never cease to amaze me. To feel despair in the face of natural processes to which you are predestined.
I love that line every time. I've heard it twice and I've laughed each time.
I've come to take you from this place, my friend. Dare say you deserve a speck of respite after the mad whirl of the last few days.
Speck of respite. And you'll have to imagine that respite because the exact same as we just saw. And so we're going to skip this and
all those deaths I failed to prevent.
Go to the next one.
Feel pretty awful right about now.
Other than this line right here.
Can't help thinking I could have done more. Now Toussaint's left without a ruler, or more accurately, chaos rules here. Hand in hand with despair. Duchess won over people's hearts. All Beauclair now weeps for her.
A mass outburst of emotion. Well, it seems her subjects have adopted some of their
Oh yeah, I forgot
traits.
this part.
Why the sarcasm? Thought you liked Donna Henrietta.
I did. And I do truly rue her passing.
Me too.
Then let us drink.
Regis just knows that it's never wise to like mythologize a human being or a vampire, I guess too. And that seems to be sort of what's happening with Henrietta. She's being a little bit mythologized in death in that very bad ending, which is apparently the one that I got. This is a bad ending. Let's see what happens here. The third ending.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the fight. Oh, I know what happens here. This is Detlaf.
Sienna, I have a question.
Obviously, this has to happen before the first ending that we watched, too. It's right before we fight Detlaf. Except there's one thing different in this ending.
Did you truly feign it all? That which bound us was a ruse.
Detlaf, it's not that simple.
Oh no, it's very simple. You either deceived me or not.
I actually reloaded my save and played the Unseen Elder path to get to the ending. And because of that, I've seen this scene real quick. Unseen Elder path, if you have not played it, very worth playing. Some incredible stuff going on there. Very worth it. Despite the fact that I think
I grieve. For now, we must
forces you into this ending. Ooh.
A shame.
Sienna.
Interesting. The gentleness. Interesting, Detlaf. So his last words are, "In forgiving you, I grieve. For now, we must part." In forgiving you, I grieve.
A shame.
Sienna.
A shame. And then he closes her eyes, retracts the talons, and that is the duality of Detlaf right there. What a character. And is saddened by what he's done, but his hand has been forced. He's been emotionally manipulated. I mean, is he absolved of guilt? No, but he's been emotionally manipulated beyond
what I had
understanding.
To do. What she deserved. Beauclair will know peace once more. The vampires will have left the city by dawn. I shall leave as well. Go far away, far from men. You can try to stand in my way. Then I shall kill you both. Though that is not at all my will. The decision is yours.
You can go. But if ever we meet again...
I shall keep my distance, believe me. Geralt, Regis, farewell.
Shit.
I'm sorry. I swore to protect her, I know, but it happened so fast.
How much is there here? What the heck? So you don't fight Detlaf in this ending?
Let a killer walk. Isn't that what you wanted from the start, though?
No.
We have to let Anna Henrietta know.
Don't attack Regis for this.
You will face...
I know. All the same, we have to inform her.
Oh yeah, this ain't gonna go over well. Sienna has died. Henrietta does not know the truth. In this path, do we find out that that Henrietta was the 5th victim? I don't know. In a Toussaint prison, huh? Oh, interesting. The noose, and Geralt walks right through it in the background. Interesting.
Geralt of Rivia.
What do you want?
Me? Not a thing. Name's Handsome Jacques. And
Handsome
I've already
Jacques.
got it all. What I wonder is if there's anything you'd need.
So I knew that Sienna would die in this ending because we did not grab the... This is the ending where you don't get the bracelet that saves Sienna's life and returns her to the land of 1,000 fables. After that, I have no idea what happens in this ending. We're in prison now.
What can you get me exactly?
Exactly. Anything a patron of this little auberge might desire. From decent victuals that won't stew your innards to a dab of fisty to make you fly.
Dab of fisty.
Even brought in a slinky piece of ours once. A boarder claimed to suffer from glandular overactivity or some such. You see, out there beyond the walls, I'm a lowly dog's body. But here, in the kingdom of the clink, I'm the cling.
In the kingdom of the clink, I'm the cling.
Can't readily think of anything.
Come now, mate.
That's
we
clever.
all need something. You've just not been in here long enough to know.
You know me? How?
No. That's a stretch. No, I wouldn't say that, no. But I do know they've assigned you to the laundry, same as me. And I know what you're in for, your dastardly deed. Then again, I know that about every jester who winds up here.
Kinda curious to know what you know, or think you know.
The
Handsome
Duchess
Jacques has a
hired you
nice
to find the
bowl
butcher
cut.
of Beauclair. And you did, but then you let him butcher dear Anarietta's sis. Then this brute simply vanished. Dropped off the face of the earth, though in his case, turned to vapor, might be the better phrase.
I'm amazed they
Seem
let me
pretty
have
well
my...
informed.
Best informed mutt in
Medallion.
this kennel paws down. Duchessa's cross, no doubt, while you await your trial, though she never seemed concerned for her sister before.
Ooh.
Since you seem to know so much,
Sassy.
tell me one last thing. My sentence. What'll it be?
None can tell you that. Anarietta's a fickle cocotte. There's just no knowing which teeth she's like to flesh. But I'd advise against escape. You're a prisoner among many now. Take flight, though. Make it out. Public enemy number one.
Why'd they lock you up?
Hodgepodge. I had no domicile, but had to winter somewhere, so I robbed a shopkeeper. Couldn't have made a worse mistake. The penalty was a fine, an amount I couldn't pay, so they switched it to lashes, meted out on my bum. After that, I shifted course, started pinching bigwigs' noses. Cut the tail of Count Beauvieux's steed. Got a year and a half for that. My next exploits had to be grander, even greater wrongs. So I carefully chose my victim.
Who?
Marshal
What?
de la Stake.
Who is this
Filled
guy?
his cask with dung from between my very own cheeks. That got me 3 years of free room and board. I'll pull another
I
prank as soon
understand.
as they let me out. Made it a career. It's become my way of life.
Incredible.
We're gonna
Handsome
report
Jacques.
for this laundry duty. Rather get it over with.
Away we go. Personally, I'm pleased we're assigned to it. Those rags stink like sick in the sun, but you get used to it. And when you're working, you get more bread.
Go to the laundry, okay?
Don't get my dand up.
I've no clue, but we're better off chomping.
I'll get up your dand.
In prison. This is hilarious. This is like Skyrim Markarth.
Me up for selling rancid food.
Norse, what you were selling.
Burlap is the new stripe. Are they going to make you actually do some work? That's funny.
Rubbish!
Take dirty clothes, pick up soap. I wonder if we'll try and escape. So the conversation there was, don't try and escape. It's not worth it. Also, it would be pretty... Oh, don't pick up the soap. That's the one thing they say not to do in prison. God dang. Okay, well, he did it. I was very nervous something was going to go wrong there. Our inventory's empty.
Take
Wow.
a stick and stir the rags. Water's almost boiled.
This is riveting. Wield the stick. Use LT to block. I guess this is the very bad ending. Oh no, this is just bad ending. We go to prison. Is he making a break for it? Handsome Jacques, what are you looking at right now? Why are you looking so suspicious? Oh no.
Who have
Oh
we
no.
here?
Yep.
Guardian of Gutter Snipes locked in the clink. How did that happen?
My. What could the Duchess's favorite have done to deserve this?
Back off. I'm busy.
Hear that? The laundry wench is busy. Yet I fear we have a matter to resolve. Remember our meeting, Boot Black Bodyguard?
These guys
You go
protected the
ahead and
Boot Black?
cheat.
Or
I'll be
tried to
back
kill the
once
Boot
you're
Black?
done.
Tried to hurt him?
Thanks for sticking around to help, Jacques.
You're in the coop, mate. Only one thing counts here, survival. Folk don't stick their necks out for anyone besides themselves.
Boo-hoo. He left you all alone.
Oh, we could try Axie?
Worry about yourselves. Managed to knock me down once, sure.
Oh, how
but that
low
was
we've
an
fallen
accident.
at this point.
I promise.
An accident, you say? Well, those happen all the time. And some men are just prone to them, as you very well might be.
This is a tale as old as time.
We would not be here if not for you.
Prisoners
So
ganging
think
up
of
on
us
each
as
other.
The trap you set for yourself. An accident waiting to happen.
Oh, we've been dreaming of this. A miracle by which you would land in here. And voila! Sometimes dreams do come true.
The land of fairy tales, Toussaint.
Come on. Be constructive. Make yourselves useful.
Yes, we should see to the wash, or they'll put us in confinement.
Hey, the mutant's trying charms on us.
Uh-oh.
Can't you see? Your tricks won't work here, lad. You cannot mesmerize all three of us at once.
I could try.
Grab
right?
yourselves washboards, boys.
All right.
Stay together.
Kick his ass.
Try to.
We do wield the stick. This is funny. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward through that. Oh, there we go. Didn't last very long.
What is going on here?
The blood is flying.
Nothing.
I'm not asking you.
Nothing.
But the one on the floor. Have you anything to say?
I slipped on some soap.
You slipped on soap.
Lots of soap here. It is a laundry.
Harlots, brutes. Solitary for the lot of you. You'll have ample time to consider. Think about the choices you've made in life. I'll make certain of it.
Didn't do anything to deserve solitary.
Shut it. Milton was my cousin. You let him die. Was the Duchess's coin not enough? Did you expect more?
It's the interesting thread of this ending so far. I wondered if they would say it outright, the three people who tried to beat me up, to try to beat Geralt up the first time, and they did not, which is they have such faith in the Duchessa that me having not completed the Duchessa's request, betrayed her trust, betrays the trust of all of Toussaint. So, of course, I'm...
More to save a good man's life.
Arrived too late. Nothing I could do.
And when the beast
Scapegoat.
tore apart the Duchess's sister, too late then too. Were it up to me, you'd have hanged already. And don't you try any witcher tricks on me. You will end oh so badly if you do.
Yeah, this is a pretty bad ending. This is not good so far. I wonder if Henrietta will show any mercy. That's the question on everyone's mind, right? What will Henrietta pass down as judgment? It's got to be soon.
Here of your own free will, Stefan? Or did they lock you up too?
Stefan is
Bet
the
you're
rat.
thinking about food. What you'll eat once you're free. Mutton leg. That's what I'm dreaming of. Well roasted on the outside. Nice and juicy in the middle.
Are you the lout from Rivia?
Yep, I'm that lout.
Butcher Blaviken,
Come
Lout
with
from
me.
Rivia.
You're to be sentenced.
There it is.
To what?
To shut it. What am I, the town crier? Hands behind your back.
I wonder what Geralt would actually do here. If he would actually
Now let's
follow,
go. And no funny business.
go through the normal process of law, or attempt to break out.
Get ready. Soon all your problems will be solved once and for all.
All right.
Do you know where this leads?
No. Hope it's the exit, though.
You guessed it. The thing is, there are different kinds of exits. Some walk this path to freedom. Others walk it straight into eternity.
Which am I headed for?
I don't know. Yet one thing is certain. You will never walk this path again.
This path again. You'll never walk it. All right. Let's find
Mark
out.
Dubois, you are hereby judged guilty of trampling Alice Valref, the cupbearer's wife, while on horseback. The woman's condition is critical.
It was an accident. I was riding fast through, but she jumped out in front of me.
In light of the above, there can be but one sentence.
Yikes!
Death by decapitation.
No, I didn't do anything! Help! There must be witnesses!
Off with his head.
Oh no. First season of Game of Thrones.
Next.
Oh!
Paul, the Witcher, take him to the tower. That's an order.
An order's an order. Guess you're not next after all.
I'm guessing I want
Follow
an
me.
actual... I'm guessing
You're
they give me
supposed to follow me.
Why do you make me watch that execution?
So you'd know this is no
an audience with
for lost orphan boys.
Duquesa.
Wanted me to think I was next. Enjoy that? Getting a rise out of folk?
You guessed it. The harlots' hounds that land here, I detest them. So I do everything in my power so they'll know they're in the clink,
Or
not on
Damien?
holiday.
Maybe Damien is who I'll get an audience with. I would guess it would be the Duquesa, though. Who else has sway in this town? Oriana? Please don't make it be Oriana. I learned some terrible things about Oriana the other day.
I've brought the prisoner, sir.
Damien.
Unbind him and leave us.
It makes sense.
Greetings, Witcher.
Your face doesn't look good. Though.
Question now is whether or not Damien will see eye to eye with us. We'll extend a little bit of empathy for our situation. I don't know.
Looked even worse last time I saw you.
I apply an arnica extract. I can hardly feel it anymore. But my scars pale in comparison to the fate Siana met with. The fate that was your doing.
Are they going to show
I
Damien's
trusted
face?
you.
They haven't showed us
How
yet.
did you repay me? Consider it, Witcher. Why do you think the Duquesa had Siana hidden away to start with? Can you guess?
I'm sorry. Might not believe me, but couldn't have predicted that turn of events. Certainly never wanted that.
Enough. We shall speak of it no more.
Guess there's been a decision in my case.
Truly, is that all you care about? Your own hide?
I mean, it is on my mind, yeah.
Get kinda anxious when my life's on the line.
Your life was never threatened. The court considered various punishments. The death sentence was not among them.
Wasn't in attendance, so I wouldn't know.
You are in Toussaint, where the rule of law holds. We do.
The irony. Ah, this is so good. The theme of this DLC. The appearance of the rule of law and the appearance of a just system where Geralt just got his ass kicked by 3 other prisoners and then told he should, you know, and then treated a different way by the prison guards. And then the rule of law holds here.
Do not allow lynchings here, and every case is analyzed in minutest detail. The facts are as follows. You were hired to kill the beast. Not only did you fail in that endeavor, but you also caused the death of our Duquesa's sister. Have I missed anything? I'll have you know that were it up to me, you would rot in our dungeon
I guess
until
that
your
answers that.
dying
He doesn't
day.
see eye to eye with
Glad
us.
you didn't have the deciding vote then.
At any rate, I am not the best person to tell you what was decided in your matter. I'd say the man who worked hardest to tip the scales in your favor should.
What are you talking about? What man? Dandelion?
Sheesh, Geralt. You look like you've seen a ghost.
A ghost wouldn't have surprised me half this much, I promise you. What are you doing in Beauclair?
Officially, visiting Henrietta. That is to say, the Duchess. We're old friends. But you know that. Unofficially, I'm saving your hiney.
Of course.
You're a persona non grata in Toussaint. Undesirable.
Didn't stop me from risking my skin for you. In my book, friendship is all that matters. Well, friendship and love. And art. Oh, and wine.
Probably in a different order, too. Probably like love, art, then friendship.
How'd you
Maybe
even
love,
know I was
friendship,
in
art.
prison?
Regis came to see me right after they locked you up. I mean, Regis, right? Can you believe that? To come back after... Amazing. He told me everything, and naturally, I couldn't possibly...
I can't believe
leave you
Dandelion saves us in this ending. Dandelion was useful
thanks to
in this
you.
ending.
How do you manage it?
Oh, I have my ways. Took a little persuasive logic, blended in some deft rhetoric, then added a generous pinch of charm, and voila, you're free. But just so you know, it wasn't easy. In fact, it was pretty damn hard. Duchess was so furious, I think she even forgot she'd banished me from Beauclair. For life. All she could do was scream that you'd never set foot outside that dungeon again.
How'd you get her to take a fresh look at things?
I appealed to the faultless intentions that guided you, to your reputation, your accomplishments, and, well, ultimately, she changed her mind, and you're free. Never wants to see you again, but
Well, yeah, that's fair.
even got her to leave your vineyard with you. You won't get a copper of your promised reward, but you'll keep your estate.
Now that seems a little. I'm down to, you know, set aside my beliefs about what's gonna happen here. That seems a little much. I'm pretty sure Henrietta would take the vineyard away. I've had it for like 60 days at this point. Geralt's had it for 60
you're
days.
a regular master of diplomacy. Thanks.
Listen, you do whatever needs doing, but I've got to get to the cemetery. Henrietta's in bad shape with Siana dead. Some folk forget that under the ducal regalia, she's just an ordinary woman who's lost a loved one.
What a lovely last line to end it on. She's pissed, but she's just an ordinary woman who's lost a loved one.
Been meaning to ask you, how's Priscilla?
All right, recovering steadily from the horror she's been through.
So, you two, you're still...
Of course we are. How could you even think it was otherwise?
No idea. Just within the realm of possibilities. But please be careful not to lead Anna Henrietta on. Suggest you've come here for any reason beyond getting me out of my predicament.
The bond between the Duchess and myself is one of pure friendship, nothing more. Now, off to console a friend in need.
What do the ladies see in his facial hair? That's my question.
All right. See you later.
Thanks,
See you,
Dandelion. I feel, honest to goodness, actual gratitude to Dandelion for the
Off
first
we
time
go.
in this
You'll
playthrough.
collect your things at the door.
I get my stuff back? You must have had a huge
Follow
chest
me
to keep it all.
the exit.
Keep it all safe for me. All right, let's get out of here. It's so funny that we're ending this video on this terrible ending. Even the very bad ending, I think, has a really beautiful... Like, the town in Grieving and Toussaint in Grieving is really beautiful. This ending is hilariously...
Open the gate.
Your things are past the first gate. You think
Sad.
you leave. I don't really give a fig.
Hilariously bad. Alright, let's see what else happens in this final last option. Last ending. My guess is we would have a little bit of a conversation with Regis. We'll probably not see Henrietta again. And we probably have to do the epilogue type. What's Regis's next move? What's the retirement look like? In a way, this DLC, the ending of this DLC is the ending of the game for people who have played this long.
Don't smile so wide. Someone's liable to see. Could mean trouble.
I can't help myself. Just so glad to see you.
Glad to see you too, my vampire friend. Thanks for getting Dandelion to come out.
It was nothing. True, he was not at first terribly eager to face the Duchess, but I managed to persuade him his person was indispensable.
Well played. Dandelion loves being indispensable.
Yet he so rarely is, poor man.
Yeah,
What did
he
you
so
do while
rarely
I-
is. Wait, I have to go back.
The lion loves
He
being
loves being
indispensable.
indispensable.
Yet he so rarely is, poor man.
I love it when people make fun of Dandelion.
What did
it's
you
so
do
fun.
while I...
While you vegetated in that correctional facility, I used the time to think. Wish to know what I thought about?
Of course.
The relationship between two numbers. Detlaf's 4 victims and the 5 chivalric virtues. As you've no doubt noted, there's a difference of 1.
Do we do the boot black
Mean
thing
to
now?
tell me, after all we've figured out, that you now believe in the whole 5 virtues punished theory?
Belief's got nothing to do with it.
Wow.
It's cold logic, deduction. Siana went to great lengths to make folk believe the beast was punishing them.
That is beautifully done, plot-wise. Man, I think that the strength of the writing in this game is character and dialogue, but they do so well. They continually astound me on the level of plot, which is more of a macro rather than a micro level stuff. In this version of events, Anarietta does not know that Siana meant to kill her, and so therefore is not. Her grief is pure. She is just sad about the loss of a loved one because she doesn't know. I've already been to jail. Shit's already bad. Now Regis introduces the plot point, which will get us, either will or won't get us to the point of who was the 5th victim. Answer that question for the player. And in doing so, answer that question for Geralt, and maybe for Anarietta as well, which absolves us of some guilt. It's just that events went the wrong way.
Betrayed the virtues. Were I in her shoes, I'd make sure the number of victims matched. Are you not at all curious who was meant to be the 5th?
If I say yes, what then?
Then you'll come with me for another chat with the bootblack. You see, I've learned he delivered the notes to Detlaf. Our search starts with him.
Okay. No, you should do it. Yeah, there you go.
Fine, see what he has to say. Could use a good walk, work out the kinks if nothing else.
Put your shoes on first,
Come
Geralt.
then.
I wonder if any of this is the same, though, right? Like, it doesn't... This looks like... I mean...
Anna Henrietta had died for her sins. She was known to show
Okay,
a hard
so they
heart
fast
on
forward.
many occasions. Ample proof of a lack of compassion.
Why would Siana murder her own sister?
This is a wild ending. You find out that Anarietta was meant to be the 5th victim after Anarietta hates you. Shit.
Envy? To take power?
Wow.
From an inborn penchant for evil?
Yes, yes, and yes. All those make sense, and none are mutually exclusive.
What do we do now?
Do we
now
tell her?
We drink. Unless, that is, you feel a witcherly duty to see the Duchess and tell her what we just
She'd
learned.
hate to see me. I don't know that she would see me. But you have to try, right?
Think this might be something Anna Henrietta should know.
As you wish. I shall await you at Mare la Chaiselongue.
Will she believe me?
Brew to keep me company.
Not coming with?
I've got great advice.
After the horror Detlaf brought down upon the city, and in light of Siana's death, I think it wiser not to appear at the palace.
Probably right. See you later then.
Before heading to the palace, you might wish to see if Anna Henrietta is not at the city cemetery.
Wow.
She spent a great deal of time at her sister's grave these last days.
Interesting. Tell Anarietta about your last contract. How is this going to go? I'm on the edge of my seat here. At this point, I've played 100, 200 hours of this game, whatever. I've seen about every way that this DLC can go. And I've spent hours breaking down my emotional understanding of Anarietta as a person. And I don't know how this is going to go. One
Geralt,
last twist.
Why have you come? Forgotten already? The murderer you were to kill lives, while the Duchess's sister lies dead.
Do we also tell
Wouldn't
Damien?
have come if I didn't have to. Promise you that. But I've learned something. Something that might interest Anna Henrietta.
Forgive me if I lend no credence to your word.
Found a letter Siana wrote. To the murderer.
Very well. You may enter. But I make no promises as regards the Duchessa. She mourns her sister in the ducal crypt. Viscount de Lettenhove is with her.
Viscount de Lettenhove. Is that Dandelion? That is, right? Yeah, it is.
Remember, my dear Henrietta, despair is like a stormy sky. Sooner or later, the sun must drive away the clouds.
Oh, Dandelion. I'm gonna vomit.
That is easy for you to say. The one murdered was not your
I'm nervous.
sister.
I'm very nervous.
My life hasn't exactly been a bed of roses. True, my sister wasn't murdered. Don't even have a sister, actually, but many times I've lost. Ugh, unimportant.
Oh, Dandelion, you
Your
dumbass.
The impudence you must harbor to come in here after all that's happened.
Calm down. I'm sure Geralt's got a very good reason.
Calm down. Yeah, that's
right,
a good...
Geralt?
Dandelion's over here like, calm down. Yeah, you're doing great, Dandelion. You're doing great.
Before you start dumping accusations on me, I think you should know something. Sienna, she was a vicious, wicked woman.
Who are you to tell me who my own sister was?
Yikes.
I'm the man you hired to investigate the Beast of Beauclair. And I found a letter your sister wrote to the murderer.
Really?
This is interesting because it makes it seem so, ha, I got you, right now, rather than the unfortunate truth that he's about to deliver. It's more, ha, I got you, because it's like, ha, I got you, I didn't deserve to be in jail. I did my job.
Maybe you should read it then. It could be important.
You read it, Dandelion, aloud to me.
Oh, the drama of this. This is insane. She's sitting there at the grave she's been at for days of the sister she believes was unjustly killed, who still loved her.
This time you must see to our Duchessa. Anna Henrietta knows nothing of empathy. Her heart is cold. This shard of ice you must tear from her breast.
But first, break her neck. Does it say it?
My sister could never have written that.
Got proof she did.
No. I don't believe you. I don't believe it. Someone seeks to blacken
Stages
her in
of
my
grief?
eyes.
We're in denial?
I won't allow it.
There, Henrietta. Don't get upset.
Calm down,
The
don't
letter
get
is
upset.
vile. It's slander. You must destroy it. Do you hear? No one else must ever read it.
And that won't ever stop you from knowing.
Consider it done.
And you, out! Get out of here! This is all you're doing! Begone, hear me! I never wish to see you again! I shall never believe she did this. She was not capable. This is an outrage, Dandelion. Tell him it's not true. Tell him it's a dirty lie.
Oh, this is the problem with ideas, Henrietta. They don't go away. They're seeds buried in the mind. They stay there.
Geralt, get out of here, please. The Duchess, she needs to be alone.
With me. Say I'm sorry. Say I'm sorry, Geralt. I'm just sorry for what she's gone through. Oh. Dandelion, that one hand was like pretty high up. Oh my god, Dandelion.
As to her enlightened highness, didn't go great. Got the full kaleidoscope of her emotional states. Spun through it at an impressive pace, too.
Am I to understand she didn't throw her arms about you and shower you with thanks for saving her from her murderous sister?
Got that right. I don't blame her, though. Luckily, Dandelion was there to smooth things over. Somewhat.
As you know, I had little sympathy for Sienna. Nonetheless, I very much regret I could not keep her safe. To you, her ultimate fate, does it still bring on the occasional pang of regret?
Yep. Still.
That's the writers being
Well,
like,
then,
hey, you could have done this slightly differently.
Drink up.
There were other options. If there weren't other options in that situation, the characters would say something like, we did what we could, or, you know, some variation on
Always
that.
seemed a very complex creature to me, by your very nature. Not one to go in for simple methods like drinking your worries away.
I fear there are worries for which, quite simply, there is no other medicine.
Beauclair seems safe now, though I'm still left wondering. I mean, Detlaf's alive. Think Anna Henrietta's still in danger?
No. He had a score to settle with Sienna. By his reckoning, he did just that. He has no reason to attack anyone else, or to remain in Beauclair any longer.
Sure hope so. Though in his boots, I'd regret having to go. Place is just plain beautiful, damn it.
I think that's going to do it for this video. Holy cow. Place is just beautiful, ain't it? All right. Well. That is all of the endings to the Blood and Wine DLC. I learned some things there. I hope that I could give you at least some sort of insight into the emotional realms of the characters and what's going on with these DLCs. And yeah, that was incredible. I admire the Witcher writers more than ever, and the Witcher 3 writers more than ever. And the crazy thing about that is that I spent 200 episodes of a blind playthrough admiring them more every episode. And then watching all of the endings to the main game and watching all of the endings to the Heart of Stone DLC and the Blood and Wine DLC now too. Wow. The plot point, I thought for sure the third ending was going to end with just the missed connection of Sienna's fifth victim and the shame over our head. But no, these writers are much better than that. Of course, they have to give you the true answer and the knowledge that you were right, even though you did not handle the situation correctly and in the right order in a way that brings to light what could have happened. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little bit of something. If you have any ideas about any of the writing of these DLCs, I'd love to read it. I would. I'm sure I missed plenty of things, and I'm sure that there is a lot more to note. So if you're looking for more Witcher 3 content, we have an entire 200-episode blind playthrough of the game. I'll put links to this stuff in the description down below. We also reacted this same sort of video to the main game ending and the other DLC. So for now, that's going to do it for The Witcher 3 for me and for this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.